Okay, so this was from the Giants' touchdown drive against the Lions, and this was actually a pretty nifty play call by Pat Shurmur. So it was 1st and 10 from the 12, and it was the beginning of the drive, so he kind of wanted to, run a play to sort of get the ball rolling a little bit. So you can see the Giants come out in 11 personnel. They have three receivers to the left. They've got Ingram to the right, and they've got Saquon Barkley to Daniel Jones' left, right? And so you're going to see that take a look at the Lions' defensive line here. They're in their sort of wide nine defensive alignment, and what what the alignment with the receivers does is it pushes the DBs to their right. And so what Shurmur's now going to do is he's going to run a play that has Barkley coming to the opposite side of those DBs. And so it really takes advantage of spacing and just getting a numbers advantage for the offensive line. So a really nice play call overall. And I'm going to run this back now. And what you're going to see is take a look at the offensive line. Just run it back. You're going to look at Jalapeno and Zeitler. You're going to see a pin and pull concept here where Remmers sets the block, and then Jalapeno and Zeitler pull out of the edge around Remmers, and Hernandez works to the second level. Barkley's able to use his speed to get around the edge, pick up a nice 5 yards. Pretty nice, easy play call overall. Took advantage of spacing, got Barkley out with plenty of green grass in front of him. Really nice play call overall. These are the kind of situations you're going to want to get Saquon into a lot. So basically you're going to see here, again, take a look. Soldier is going to just lay a little chip block. Hernandez is immediately going to work to the second level. Jalapeno and Zeitler are going to pull around the edge because there's no one lined up right over Jalapeno. Ingram sets a pretty decent block. Saquon gets out to the edge. Jalapeno sets a nice block to Kennard. And overall, just really, really nice design by Shurmur here to gain an easy 5 yards. Okay, so this is another example of an outside run. This is the very next play, 2nd and 5. This one's going to go to the other side this time. This is going to be more of a pure zone, outside zone run. You're going to see the entire offensive line flows to the left, and it appears to be initially headed towards the A gap between Jalapeno and Zeitler. But then what you're going to see, and this is something that we saw a couple of times last season in these sort of zone runs, is that Saquon sort of gets a little bit indecisive. And when we play it back, you're going to see that Tate actually comes across the motion he runs to the left. So what happens is the linebackers sort of take a step to their right. So it's almost as if the play design, the goal is to get the linebackers to move towards the A gap and then have Saquon bounce it outside. So if we're gonna play it back here. So watch Tate come in motion now. It sort of makes the linebackers react to the right a little bit. Okay, so now the linebackers seem to be in position to actually defend the A gap. And so it seems as though the goal here may in fact be to have Saquon cut it inside the B gap or completely stop in motion and go outside to the C gap, outside of Remmers. So ultimately, even though his momentum seems to be carrying him towards the A gap, it seems that with Tate in motion, the actual design of this play may have had him cutting back towards the B gap or the C gap. And he just seemed to get a little indecisive here. Wasn't really sure. He wasn't given a clear lane through angles like he was in the previous play, and this just ends up being only a 2-yard gain. You can see here, he's sort of thinking about going outside that C gap. Then he's thinking, all right, should I cut back to the B gap? Ends up getting indecisive, trying to get back to the A gap, and by the time he makes that decision, the defensive tackles have already beat their blocks, and they get there in time to sort of contain it. Alright, so this is 3rd and 3 after the 2-yard run to the outside. And the Giants are just in a position, they just need to move the chains. They're down in the game, they just want to keep this drive going, sustain the drive. And so they come out and they're going to be in 11 personnel. They have 2 wide receivers stacked on the outside to the right. Then they have Ingram in sort of a 2-point stance and Saquon to the right. So again, they have the threat. The Lions have to honor the threat of Saquon running to the left, just like they saw at the beginning of this drive, where he ran to the opposite side. So the Lions are going to come out. They appear as if they could be lining up in man, But then once this play starts, you're going to see that they actually drop back to a cover three, and the Giants have sort of a high-low concept, almost like a sail concept called towards the right side, where you're gonna have Saquon come to the flat, you're gonna have Ingram run out an out route, like a deep out on top of that, and then you're gonna have Benny Fowler, who's the rightmost receiver, stretch the cornerback vertically and then cut it to a post, and Tate runs a sort of a dig. So we're gonna run it back here. Alright, so Jones takes the snap. So immediately you see the Lions are coming back into a cover three, right? The underneath defender, who's on Ingram right now, he's sort of dropping back into the flat. So Saquon is going to the flat, Ingram is going on top of him, and then Fowler is stretching the corner up wide. So basically it puts that flat defender in a tough position. It's a very good call against cover three. And the pocket sort of collapses on DJ here, so all credit to him for sort of getting it out quickly, getting it to Saquon, just moving the chains, understanding the situation. I guess you could say, all right, because Ingram, the Giants technically won with this play call. They called the right concept against this coverage. So Ingram would have been open if he wanted to, try to get out and extend the play. Not really the type of quarterback that DJ is. He's not. He doesn't have that like Mahomes or Wilson trait where he's immediately going to get out, try to make something happen, which is perfectly fine. 3rd and 3, you want to extend the play. So all credit to DJ here for keeping calm, just delivering a nice quick ball to the flat to Saquon, understanding the situation, not trying to do too much, sticking to what he knew. Again, it's a good call and nice quick little execution and recognition by DJ there, and not getting thrown off by the pressure. I'm going to see the end zone angle. And you're going to see the pocket quickly collapses on him. He may have had an escape route out the front door, but ultimately he just chose to move the chains, and I respect that decision from him, not looking for too much. You're going to see Kennard quickly starts to collapse the pocket on Remmers there, gets to his outside. DJ gets it out quickly to Saquon in the flat. Nice play. Alright, so this is the first down after the conversion to Barkley. And you're going to see here that the Giants are once again 11 personnel, and the Lions appear to be in man, and they do end up playing single high man once the play starts. And you're going to have Goldman to your left, and you have Ingram lined up to the right in a 3-point stance. And so, this play is going to end up going to Ingram, and you hear the term matchup nightmare a lot of the times, and I feel like it's an overused term for a lot of players. This is really what the crux of that is. If you're going to see here, play in slow motion, watch what Ingram does here. He initially stems his route inside. The safety up top slips towards that side, cheats towards that side. Then he's going to cut it back outside. DJ puts it up for him, and Ingram's going to jump up and make the play. So you're going to see, again, it's man coverage. Benny Fowler is lined up to the right. He's going to run just a vertical go route. Tate's going to run sort of like a crosser, and then Darius Slayton to the left is going to run sort of a deep dig route. And so Ingram is clearly the primary target on this play. But Tate also sort of works himself open. And so I've got to commend DJ here. There's a good and bad from DJ on this play. First off, Tate finds himself open, and as he's shown, he's a reliable target, even when he has just a step of separation on the DB. So first off, I gotta commend DJ for not trying to go for the underneath route to Tate here, and instead trying to push it downfield to Ingram after he works himself open. I am going to say though that you can see here is also a really nice job by Goldman picking up his linebacker shooting up the middle. But I am going to say that this is probably a ball that DJ is going to look back and say, okay, yeah, I need to improve here. He's going to see he doesn't hit Ingram in stride, but sort of makes Ingram turn back a little bit. So this is going to be a ball that DJ's going to look back and say, all right, this is something I sort of have to improve on. Overall, though, great job by DJ not getting it downfield when he had the guy open, not succumbing to the underneath throw to Tate. but we would have liked to see him have put it in a little bit better position. But so far, great play calling this drive. Great taking advantage on this play of Ingram's, so-called versatility and his ability to be. All right, so this was the next play after that, and just before I start, I'm going to say this play was called back by penalty, but I just felt a need to include this play because I thought this was honestly one of my favorite plays of the drive. Quite frankly, one of the most encouraging things I saw from DJ all year was this play right here. And, if you follow me on Twitter or anything, you know that I'm generally not the biggest Daniel Jones person, right? And that's really not because of what kind of quarterback he is, but really what kind of quarterback he's not. And that's sort of Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, workout strategy structure type. But that being said, DJ did a lot of great things last year, and when things were he even stood up pretty well, and held his own when the offensive line was collapsing a couple of times. But when things were working, when the protection was there, and he was able to go through his reads, he delivered some nice balls, and this was one of them that I want to show. So I can run it back in slow motion, so you can see here that the Giants have Ingram lined up in a 2-point stance to the left, Gallman in the backfield, Ellison to the right, and then you have two receivers to the right and left, Tate and Benny Fowler respectively, and so the Lions are going to be in man here. And watch this, and these are the kind of throws. So Ingram is going to Fowler is going to run a deep out, right? And so just look at this play here, okay? And these are the kind of plays that I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of next year with Jason Garrett. These are the kind of throws that got me really excited about DJ. Basically, watch what he does here, okay? It's a deep out from Benny Fowler, and these are the kind of throws that are going to make you think, all right, this guy has what it takes. Deep out from the opposite hash, he slings it in there perfectly. Okay, forget that it was offensive pass interference. Just look at the throw here. These are the kind of throws that scouts love to see. He put it in there perfectly, opposite hash, to the sideline. Just a great throw by Daniel Jones, and something that we didn't see a lot of from him out of college, but to see this from him here was really encouraging. Yeah, just a great ball overall and deep out that you want your NFL quarterback to be able to make, and we saw Daniel Jones do that here. All right, so this is the next play, and this was just so fun to watch. Golden Tate he's been doing it so long. He's a veteran, and I can guarantee you that this is something that Tate came up to Daniel Jones in practice and was like, dude, we need to do this in the game next week. Just whenever I get matched up with a linebacker underneath, trust me, we're going to run this play. And you can tell that DJ and Tate sort of worked on this in practice a little bit. So what you're going to see is it's a clear zone indicator, right? You don't have a cornerback matched up on Tate, and the two safeties are lined up deep. So it's clearly a zone. And just look at Golden Tate here. You're going to see, first of all, that the safety towards the top of the screen, he's going to sort of play that robber role underneath and try to take away Ingram's route. And then the safety closer to the bottom of the screen, he's going to sort of rotate up top. So it's going to be like a cover 3. And just look at Tate in the slot, towards the bottom of the screen in the slot. Watch what he does with this linebacker here. Watch how he slow plays him like that. And then boom, cuts inside. A little drag route. And you can see DJ was totally in on this too, right? Because you're going to have Latimer right next to Tate, and he's going to run to the flat. DJ immediately looks to Latimer in the flat, just to sort of sell that a little bit. Then he's going to come back to Tate after the linebacker assumes that Tate isn't going to run a route. It's just a really, really fun play to watch. I'm not sure what he was thinking after the catch, but it's just really interesting to see this. Alright, so this play is a 1st and 10 from the Lions 38. And I wanted to show this play because I want to talk about this whole thing about inside runs, right? And a big complaint from last year from a lot of Giants fans was that, oh, Pat Shurmur only runs inside, he only runs up the center, why isn't he getting more creative with it? That's understandable to an extent, right? If your run scheme isn't working, you need to redesign your runs and, get something that'll work. But with that being said, inside runs are a staple of a lot of offenses. They're going to be a staple of offenses to come. They're the easiest way to pick up yards. You're covering less distance to gain more yards. Just simplistically and mathematically speaking, it works. And when you scheme it properly, it is the most effective way to choke your opponents by just running it down their throats and mitigating the effect of the defensive line. That being said, there are many ways to, have effective inside run plays, whether it's inside zone, power, gap. And so what we're going to see here is sort of a power outside play. And what's going to happen is you're going to see Remmers and Ellison to your right are going to set the block inside on number 91. Elijah Penny, the fullback, is going to work on Kennard. So he come out and is going to block Kennard. Hernandez is going to pull around and get to the outside up to the second level. And it's going to give Saquon a really nice hole to work inside downhill. So watch Hernandez pull, watch Zeitler move to his right. And Saquon's just going to follow Hernandez. He's going to get to the second level, set a nice block on 51. Just a really nice job of Saquon here, just churning some yards. It's a much easier way to pick up yards. It's good to, have some variety in your run game, get things going on the outside, keep defenses honest, but you don't want to completely... Okay, so now this is a 2nd and 1 after that 9-yard run by Saquon. And the Giants basically come out and they have Red Ellison set out wide. They have Elijah Penny, the fullback, in the game. And they have Golden Tate, who sort of goes inside right next to Nate Solder and sort of provides support around the edge of the outside. Because what the Giants are going to do is they're going to try to run an outside zone to the left. And what you're going to see here is this is a really, really great play to watch because it really shows Saquon's ability to create yardage on his own. What you're going to see here is the linebacker in the middle, number 51, and Damon Harrison both do an excellent job of sort of, gaining leverage on their blockers, pushing inside, really filling their gaps. Because on zone runs to the outside, the key is just to fill the gap, fill as many gaps as you can. So again, Damon Harrison does an excellent job of that here. I'm going to play it back. And you're going to see DJ takes the snap. The offensive line is going to flow to the left. Watch Damon Harrison and then watch the linebacker shooting up the gap there. So Saquon's sort of kind of in a bind here. He's supposed to probably hit that A gap to the left. He has to improvise now. Again, we've all seen it week in and week out. The stop and start ability, the change of direction ability. This guy's able to bounce runs that just fall apart in front of his eyes. Again, the Lions play their run fits beautifully here. Got to give them credit. But, Saquon just doesn't give up like that. Cuts it to the outside. Gains a nice 5 yards. Beats Devon Kennard around to the edge. Picks up the first down. It's just truly amazing to have a running back who can do this kind of stuff when the scheme isn't executed properly. You're going to see it here from the end zone angle as well. You can see Harrison penetrating the backfield. Saquon's gap, the gap that he was intended to, is completely shut off. He has to, improvise, and he just does that so well here. And Devon Kennard is not going to beat Saquon around the edge in a foot race. He just won't do that. All right, so now we're going to look at the ending of this drive, which is basically a touchdown pass to Darius Slayton. you're going to see here, Giants are going to go empty set. They've got Elijah Penny split out wide left. Linebacker follows him. So we know we have man. We have Tate in the slot to the left. We have Darius Slayton split out to the left of him. You have Gallman to your right, and you have Brett Ellison to the slot and to the right. So basically what we're going to have is going to have Darius Slayton sort of running a deep slot fade to the left. And you're going to have Tate running basically just a little. He sort of adjusts his route based on how the depth of the drop of the right outside linebacker there. He sort of curls around him and sort of sits in that zone there. You're going to have Ellison run a similar sort of route as Slayton up to the top right corner. And then Gallman and Penny are going to be the sort of check down options in the flats.